He's one of the world's top neurosurgeons, but he's also a hip-hop recording artist, a race car driver, he's a podcaster, and also an author. His inspiring new memoir is called Driven, and he certainly is. Please welcome Dr. Jason Cormier. Doc? Now, is that LSU fan out here? Exactly what I expected, because I'm loving all that you do except for one thing. That LSU connection, brother, I'm just not sure about that. I'm a Razorback, okay?
Purple and gold runs deep, no matter where you look.
Oh, I'm going to get over that because I'm so fascinated by the amazing story that you have. I mean, you played basketball, maybe wanted to go to the NBA, and said go to medical school, become not just a doctor, but a doggone neurosurgeon, the most difficult specialty of all. How'd that even happen?
Very interesting story. I was always really good in sciences, and you know, point guard is kind of the position that I played. Playing under Coach Brown, who's just a legend in the basketball world, playing alongside of Shaquille O'Neal and Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf and people like that. It was just a very nice time at LSU, and sciences they made it fun. And I became a neurosurgeon. It seemed like the right thing to do.
So from neurosurgery, then you get into race car driving? You'd think most neurosurgeons would say, don't get in a race car. That's dangerous. Why did you do it?
My brother is to blame for that, my older brother, John.
Okay.
And so racing starts before you get inside of a car. We used to race to see who could brush their teeth the quickest, or who could run to switch the light switch on the quickest. So racing already started long before I got behind the wheel. And once I got behind the wheel, it was all over.
You do hip-hop music and you're a DJ. Correct. How does that factor in race car driving, neurosurgery? Oh, and by the way, I do hip-hop music and I'm a DJ.
So music has really been in my bloodline for a long period of time. When I was in high school, we had a group and I was the DJ. And so pursuing med school and basketball, I kind of got away from that. And then I attended the Hangout Fest in Alabama, and I said, you know, it's time to get back to music. And so anytime I had some free time, I literally kind of built a studio in my house, started producing some music, and then one track became over now 200 tracks. And now I have an EP that's coming out with Colt Ford, Ty Herndon, and Boomtown Saints. So it's really taken a really large leap, and I'm just amazed to be associated.
So is this therapeutic for you? I mean, because that's a stressful thing to be doing surgery on someone's brain and knowing it every time you're there, it's life or death, every single time.
It's very therapeutic. In fact, the book was something I was coached into doing, and I really didn't want to share my private life with anyone, much less the world. And that was more therapeutic than I thought it would be. And so surgery is therapeutic. I'm always looking for challenges, whether it's racing, whether it's music, and also in the operating room. And that's where I find peace.
You have a little device next to you. It is a collar. I want you to describe it, because if there wasn't enough going on in your life that doesn't make any connection to the other things, here's yet another example. What is this?
So this is called the Q-Collar, and it's based on a concept called jugular vein compression. And there was a doctor by the name of Dr. Smith, who was at some branch of the military, who started studying animals that live by striking their heads. So the woodpecker and the battle ram. So the woodpecker, as some people might know from the movie Concussion, can generate a force of 1,200 to 1,500 Gs every time it strikes that tree. No brain injury. And so what we have in common with the woodpecker and the battle ram, who also, they live by striking their heads, is that they have something called the omohyoid ligament in the neck. And so what this does is it applies 1.5 pounds of pressure over the sternocleidomastoids, that's kind of your neck muscle here, and that allows a small amount of extra blood in your head, so it prevents the slosh effect of the motion of the brain. So it's almost kind of like creating a bubble wrap, if you will, to the brain so it doesn't move around. And Julian Bell said, you know, if the brain doesn't move, the brain doesn't get hurt.
This is evidence that you really are the Renaissance man. I mean, I don't know what else is out there. It's all about, in your book, Driven. I can't wait to read this. It's just about to come out. It's going to be an amazing story, and I hope you'll get your copy of the book, Driven, by Dr. Jason Cormier. Get his new music and everything else. I mean, one of those collars. Heck, let's throw those into the bag as well. Get it all. But if you want to know how to connect with him, and I have a feeling you do, despite the fact that he went to LSU, the only bad thing about the guy, other than that, he's great, Here's what you do. You go to Huckabee.tv for all the links that you need. Hey, thanks for sticking around. Since you made it here to the end, that must mean you liked the video. So you might as well subscribe and hit that notification bell below. But if you really hated it, just click the like button 3 times.